Qin Mu, Wang Muran, Mu Qingdai, and Long Yu lay battered upon the earth, their bodies broken and spirit faint. Long Yu's legs were shattered. Mu Qingdai had lost consciousness from grievous wounds. Wang Muran's bones were nearly shattered into fragments, and Qin Mu bore the lingering agony of a strike received while in shadow form, an attack that had nearly sundered him entirely in that intangible state. The four sprawled helplessly. Long Yu's tongue protruded stiffly, his neck twisted in painful contortion, nearly snapping under his own force. He could only gaze in despair as the dragon Qilin approached, its sinuous tongue darting forth to drench him in a slick of saliva. The great creature flipped him, licking anew, but still the rebellious tongue refused to retract. With each lapping, Long Yu's body tingled, a fierce crawling sensation of bones knitting, tendons fusing, and flesh mending. He drew upon his vital chi, guiding the reformation of his limbs, lest they reattach crookedly and mar his movements even after healing. A short distance away, Wang Muran, despite his near-broken frame, could not suppress a wheezing laugh at the spectacle of his senior brother drenched in the dragon's relentless ministrations. The dragon Qilin's massive tongue flopped and flipped, Long Yu as if wary of scorch upon flesh. Laughter tore from Wang Muran, even as his wounds split anew and tears streaked his face. The dragon Qilin turned to him, enveloping Wang Muran in its slick embrace, flipping him as it had Long Yu, leaving him helpless in a wash of drool. Mu Qingdai, roused by the dragon's ministrations, feigned unconsciousness, her face dampened, yet her dignity preserved through stillness. Qin Mu, weak and wary, pleaded, "Do not lick me. Senior brother Long Yu, how fare your wounds? There are jade bottles within my touty sack filled with dragon's saliva. Apply them, and the healing shall suffice." But Long Yu's voice rang loud and firm, commanding the dragon Qilin, "Lick him, big dragon, lick him!" Wang Muran joined, shouting in fervent accord, "We were all drenched. He must endure the same. Big dragon, lick!" Mu Qingdai's eyes gleamed. No longer pretending, she added, "To share blessings and misfortune alike. Boss dragon, lick!" Qin Mu's expression darkened. He attempted retreat, yet the dragon Qilin's claw pinned the corner of his garment. He fumed, "Fatty dragon, poison coats my body. Should you lick me, your death shall be swift, spilling from every orifice." A brief hesitation passed, and the three disciples of Little Jade Capital laughed, unfazed. "Who would dare poison themselves? Fatty dragon, lick to your heart's content. Should you perish, we shall enter you ourselves." Relieved, the dragon Qilin resumed its attentions, drenching Qin Mu entirely, yet with careful regard, for he was the youth's meal master. Flipped, drenched, and bound by claw, Qin Mu's face blackened with fury, yet he did not resist. The dragon Qilin, noting the mess of his hair, smoothed it with fervent diligence until even the most rebellious strands lay slick. "Enough, fatty dragon!" Great cult master Qin commanded, stern yet exhausted. "Enough! It is smooth. Cease your ministrations." The dragon Qilin obeyed reluctantly, squatting nearby, front claws resting upon his haunches. One stubborn lock of hair lingered, defiant, and the creature could not resist restoring it to its place, sending Qin Mu into a quiet frenzy. Nearby, the massive buck, its legs shattered in prior battle, watched with growing impatience. Its pride wounded from previous torment at the hands of Qin Mu and companions. It bellowed, "Hey, hey, fatty! Lick me, lick me!" The dragon Qilin, proud and imperious, spat a measure of saliva before it, commanding, "Rub it upon yourself." The buck gritted its teeth, forcing movement to anoint its wounds, each twitch a testament to pain endured. Fatty Dragon observed, delighting in the spectacle of humbled pride before the young master. Gradually, Qin Mu and his companions regained strength, sitting to circulate vital chi, purging clotted blood and sealing hidden injuries. With meticulous care, the trio from Little Jade Capital assisted, though their skill paled beside Qin Mu's. He mobilized his primordial spirit, unseen yet potent, probing each limb and treasure with divine precision. Pills of spirit Buddha and tailored remedies followed, each applied with divine understanding. Mu Qingdai gasped, astonishment radiating from her gaze. Wang Muran and Long Yu's minds reeled. None had anticipated the execution of primordial spirit at such a level. Its presence a shadow of the true essence, yet undeniable. Its cultivation within the six directions realm bestowed Qin Mu unmatched advantage, speed and comprehension far surpassing ordinary disciples. Even as his spirit remained slight and dim, Its mastery heralded profound elevation in technique and understanding. Long Yu whispered in awe, "Human Emperor's prowess is unparalleled to cultivate primordial spirit within Six Directions realm, permitting it to leave the body. Such aptitude and comprehension must rank first in the world." Qin Mu demurred, walking to Mu Qingdai, examining her with measured care. "Aptitude is not unparalleled. Cultivating primordial spirit in Six Directions realm is not extraordinary. Sister Yushu has achieved this as well. Its cultivation, once mastered, can be executed casually. Spirits may leave the body freely." His words left Long Yu mute with admiration. Wang Moran, voice reverent, added, "The sixth princess of Eternal Peace Empire has likewise cultivated primordial spirit. The empire harbors countless prodigious talents. If Little Jade Capital does not evolve, it risks stagnation." Qin Mu and Ling Yushu's early cultivation of primordial spirit marked the dawn of reform. Unknown to them, their practice would ripple through the cultivator world, establishing standards, garnering acclaim, and positioning them alongside or beyond even Imperial Preceptor in the annals of cultivation mastery. The primacy of primordial spirit, surpassing even the three fundamental sword forms, heralded a new era of advancement, amplifying divine arts across the Six Directions realm and beyond. Wang Moran's insight struck Qin Mu with clarity, and he resolved, "Upon return to the capital, I shall deliberate with Sister Yushu. Perhaps we may uncover the origins of this method." Employing the vision of Cyan Heaven's eyes, Qin Mu scanned Mu Qingdai's form, noting hidden injuries, refining spirit pills to restore her strength. Bashful, she murmured inwardly, "Divine physician, truly divine." Qin Mu's soft observation of anatomical nuance elicited a crimson flush from Mu Qingdai. Patiently, he attended Long Yu, completing the treatment of their companions. The dragon Qilin approached, mumbling, "Cult Master, see the swords embedded within me." Over a dozen flying swords marred its form. Qin Mu's glance assessed, his hand flicking. Sudden movement expelled the weapons, pillars of blood spraying, the dragon Qilin shrieking in agony. Undeterred, Qin Mu poured dragon saliva from bottles upon his own wounds, employing vital qi to purge clotted blood and seal breaches. The dragon Qilin, seeking favor, muttered of rations, yet Qin Mu ignored him, turning instead to the massive buck, grievously wounded and thrice burdened by swords. Qin Mu reset its bones, applied dragon saliva, and extracted the embedded weapons with practiced skill. Wang Moran assisted, restoring the buck's horns with precise effort, blood spraying with each adjustment, Qin Mu's guidance ensuring proper healing. He extended aid to the flood dragons, tending their injuries with equal diligence. Half a day's labor concluded, the heavens shifted abruptly. Snow-white light fell, swiftly succumbing to inky darkness pierced by flashing lightning. Observing swiftly, all noted the heavy rain ceased, a rift torn in the sky as if cleaved by a mighty sword. Qin Mu's heart trembled, whispering, "Sunshot divine cannon!" Crimson trails descended, striking the palaces below, nurturing wild growth as if heaven itself grieved, the blood of a fallen god streaking the earth with divine lament. The blood rain fell lightly, its reach confined to the gentle slopes where the group had taken refuge. Each drop sizzled softly upon touching the earth, yet the effect it wrought was profound. Qin Mu's gaze swept over the land, witnessing trees and flowers erupting into life with the ferocity of a tempestuous cultivation surge. Trunks thickened and verdant, leaves shimmered as if infused with spirit essence, and the surrounding air itself pulsed with an almost tangible spiritual qi, curling around the flora like ethereal silk ribbons. Among the blooms, a milky white mist hovered, imbuing them with an otherworldly luminescence, delicate yet potent. The waters swelled from the rain, the lake, the moat, and the river all brimming to the brim. Within, fish writhed and grew with unnatural frenzy, some sprouting legs and lunging onto the shore, their mouths revealing rows of gleaming edge, jagged teeth. In the mountains, auspicious beasts swelled, bone spikes protruding in grotesque patterns, their forms terrifying even to the eyes of seasoned cultivators. The mermaids, once elegant, had ballooned into strange, misshapen beings, their faces warped by the blood's divine potency. The energy from the god's blood overflowed, wild and ungoverned, twisting all life it touched into monstrous aberrations. The first spots kissed by the blood rain flourished beyond comparison, a chaotic blessing and curse alike. Qin Mu's mind raced. Yin and yang, the four symbols and the five phases. The balance of the elements had been violently shifted, driving these life forms into unnatural transformation. Yet, unlike the great ruins, where beastly forms were born of inherited divine or demonic bloodlines, these aberrations were the direct product of the god's spilled essence. Which god fell? Could it be the dragon-rearing sovereign? Mu Qingdai's voice was a whisper, laced with awe. Outside the great hall, the mountains shimmered with multicolored lights, veiled in white fog, turning the place into a divine sanctuary. Those who ventured into the blood rain would be transformed like the creatures below. Yet beneath the eaves, the disciples could cultivate safely, drawing the divine energy that permeated the air. Even the grandest sacred grounds of Eternal Peace Empire, Heavenly Devil Cult, Tao Sect, Great Thunderclap Monastery paled in comparison, for no mortal sect could slay a god and harness its blood to empower their land. Chenmu's expression twisted as he used carefree sword to catch a droplet of the god's blood, scrutinizing it carefully. He shook his head. This isn't dragon-rearing sovereign's blood. His essence is draconic, yet this divine energy, I've seen it before. The blade lifted, the droplet gliding along its edge, obedient, never falling. Suddenly, the blood flared, releasing a surge of divine force. Colliding with Chenmu's own cultivation strike, he was pushed backward with each pulse, yet his gaze was steadfast. A year ago, when the snow disaster ceased, Eternal Peace Imperial Preceptor faced this god. He fought fiercely and bled, and I witnessed that blood's energy while healing him. This is the same. Memories of that time. The sword pellet Mute had entrusted to him, the frantic attempts to stabilize the god's divine arts, the desperate race to save Emperor Yanfeng flowed vividly before him. This god, slain by Sunshot Divine Cannon, was the one behind the snow disaster, he murmured. This is retribution. During that calamity, the poor perished en masse. Eternal Peace Empire lost a quarter of its populace. Even wars seldom claim so many. Silence fell among the three disciples of Little Jade Capital. They recalled how Hermit Qing Yu and Imperial Preceptor had attempted to halt the reforms, yet the god's interference had brought catastrophe unforeseen. Chenmu washed the Emperor's disc in clear water, soaked it in herbal concoctions, and hung it back upon his neck, cautious of its latent power. Outside, the blood rain subsided, the dark clouds scattered, and sunlight bathed the mountain in serene clarity. The group rose above the soaked earth, observing the transformed landscape. A colossal object tore through the northern sky. Sunshot Divine Cannon, returning swiftly. Upon the floating battery stood Emperor Yanfeng and Eternal Peace Imperial Preceptor, robes fluttering, surrounded by officials. Flames from pill furnaces danced, casting white rays. The divine eye revolved, radiating fearsome might. Emperor Yanfeng's face shone with exhilaration. Long Yu's voice carried softly. The era changes. Even mortals may strike down gods. Is this fortune or peril, human emperor? I know only that the gods can no longer act with impunity, Chenmu replied, heart trembling at the cannon's glory. Long Yu sighed, hinting at histories yet to be read in Little Jade Capital. Chenmu smiled lightly, recalling his reforms and cultivation studies, promising himself a visit to study at the Hall of Five Qi. Wang Moran and Mu Qingdai approached, Long Yu following calmly, weighing the consequences of a god slain by mortal hands. Your Majesty, Imperial Preceptor. Chenmu landed on the battery alongside his companions. Eternal Yanfeng's enthusiasm radiated like sunfire. The scribe murmured caution, yet the emperor waved it aside, exuberant that justice had been served from heaven's own hand. The Great White Sword sect's leader approached, seeking clarity and restitution. Chenmu's mind wrestled with honesty and duty, yet before words could form, a soldier announced, Your Majesty, the god's corpse has been found. Emperor Yanfeng's spirit soared. The mountain held its breath at the revelation of divine demise, the winds carrying whispers of a new era.